Welcome back to another Unboxed at the Acoustic Shop. Ooh. I am Jeremy with my trusty sidekick, John.
Oh, so now I'm your trusty sidekick.
Exactly.
All right, I see.
Isn't it touche?
Isn't it touche? Okay, go.
Today we're unboxing an Eastman MD515. This is F-style mandolin right
That
here.
is exactly what that is.
I can't wait to tell you about it after the break.
So now I'm your trusty sidekick, and guess what?
You are my Kato.
I'm better than that, Jeremy. I'm much better.
You hide in cupboards and jump out at me and try to attack.
I don't know what that means. I don't think half of our audience knows what that means.
Oh, everybody knows Inspector Gadget.
It was a Green Hornet. Jeremy.
No, I'm actually thinking about what's the comedy version of that.
Oh, the Pink
Pink
Panther.
Panther, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
That's a thing too.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome. Before we get into this beautiful mandolin and John's place in the world, we are going to invite you to like our channel, subscribe down below, and also ring that bell. I've heard people say
ring
the bell, because if you
that.
click that bell, you'll be notified when we go live, which we do a lot of really cool lives. We get artists that just randomly show up at the shop. We go live, and if you want to actually see the live version of it, if that bell has been rung, you will get a notification to let you know we are live now. And you also get a notification when we have a new video released.
Right.
So when we drop a new video.
When we drop
I've been
that
watching
video,
too much YouTube.
You have.
My son is into bottle flipping right now, so we're going to do a bottle flipping review after this.
Actually, a mandolin flipping view.
Yes.
No.
I'll get it to land on the top every time.
Boing.
Anyway, today we're talking about an Eastman mandolin.
We are.
We've mentioned in the past that we are fans of these instruments. This is a hand-carved top and back, and it's in the 515 designations, the 500 series. Mm-hmm. This one does have binding on the top, a Sitka spruce top, maple back and sides.
Correct. Non-bound.
Non-bound on the
500 series, correct.
And an unbound headstock too, which I think on the next series up gets binding on all those.
Yes, correct. And in this one case, this is in the classic finish. They have a classic sunburst. This is the classic finish, which is kind of Eastman's own variant color. I think started actually in their archtop world, was very popular, and it's been like showing up on everything. We see everything from Eastman has a availability in a classic, so it's kind of like their signature color.
And I mean, obviously it's not a sunburst, but it definitely has a gradient between light brown and dark brown on the edges, same on the back, kind of really makes that center of it pop as far as the finish. And recently they've gone from the nitrocellulose. We've been saying for years how much we like nitrocellulose finish, and Eastman was one of the only companies still doing it, one of the rare companies doing it. They've recently switched to what they call a true tone finish, correct?
It is. It is a water-based lacquer with a poly sealer coat underneath. Here's the deal. In the end, I think we're going to be seeing a lot of companies, even that do small builds, you'll probably only be seeing nitro. It's shot in very small custom shop guitars, mainly because, guess what? As much as it sounds great and we like it, it is not good for people. It is not good for the environment. It is really a bad thing to be spraying.
It's kind of like the old air conditioners that had a different Freon, and now we got the new stuff. If you had one of the old ones,
they cooled a little bit better.
They cooled a little bit better, but you're not going to get to refill it anymore.
No,
so
that's a pretty bad deal. So same thing here, and kudos to Eastman for kind of coming up with a kind of happy in between, something that kind of gets a lot.
So it's not quite as thick as like the polyester finishes. We still think it seems like it's still really we were notified about it and really couldn't detect the difference by looking or playing it. So I guess that's a good sign.
That is a good sign. It was almost like, hey guys, we're doing this new true tone finish, and guess what? Everything that you have in stock has it and has had it for quite a while.
You didn't notice, did you?
And so there we go. So now again, it's probably the right move. It is going to be a little bit hard to get used to because I have been talking about nitro finishes forever. Like I said, I am one of those guys that believes I can hear a difference. I didn't seem to detect it in here, so maybe I'm not as smart as I think I am. Maybe
you were influenced. Anyway, the 515 series, we've talked a little bit. I think I did a series that or a video that talks about some of the different add-ons on the different series. The 515, we get, well, now even the 315s are coming with this upgraded cast tailpiece, but we do
Correct.
get an upgrade in the tuners on these.
Correct.
A hard shell case, like we mentioned, bound front, and then we go to this true tone finish now, this glossy finish, and a bound fretboard. So those are the biggest upgrades you're going to get from the 300 series, and the 400, which is just below this, will be a mahogany back and sides with either a black or they're not doing gold
They have
anymore, are they?
discontinued the gold, so we will only be seeing black tops in those from now on.
So yeah, so it'll have a black top, but it'll be, the big difference there is mahogany back and sides.
Correct.
But this 500 series, if you can make that extra upgrade from the 300, you're getting quite a bit of bang for your buck. The case alone, we would sell the case that they're selling for almost $100 to buy just the case. So that's a big part of your upgrade, upgraded tuners, and then not going to that gloss finish. And like we've mentioned in the past, all companies kind of grade their woods by their series. So if you're going to have your deluxe series, it's going to have the finest looking wood.
It only makes sense. If you're going to make somebody pay more for a deluxe edition, you don't want to put the best woods on the lesser expensive one and then maybe okay one. So they obviously are going to save some of those. But this is in their mid-level. You're going to get a little bit more of the flamed maple as well as a nicer grade of top. In this particular series than in the 300 series. What are your thoughts on the gloss finishes versus satin finishes? I know there's a look thing and everybody has a preference in looks, but what do you feel happens tone-wise?
I think right out of the box, a new one, you're going to have a lot more resonance with a satin finish. It just seems like you can detect that wood is just
Well, that makes sense.
moving.
I mean, it's a much thinner finish. It's going to allow the wood to move a whole lot more than a glossed finish.
But I have found, and at least it seems like, with a couple of instruments I've owned that are both, that over time, as the finish hardens on these, and we're talking like 5 years later, that there's not a detectable difference between the satin finish and a gloss finish. It seems
as
like
far as volume and
as far
tone.
as volume and tone. I mean, you're going to have some variance in the instrument. Obviously, like we said, there are going to be different woods, so it's hard to do a apples to apples test
See,
there.
I find that gloss finishes are a little bit more focused and have a little bit more detail in the notes for myself. But again, that's why I was curious to see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I think especially as they age, like the satin finish maybe gets a little bit too hollow or too resonant.
Too woody?
So they almost, the notes kind of roll over on top of each other and you get a little bit cloudy.
I would agree with
But
that.
these ones, they just seemed a little bit more refined and a little bit more note separation in them.
Yes. See, that's exactly what I would say. I say the same thing with guitars, so I was curious what
The
your
tough thing
thoughts
is,
were
the
on
tough
that.
thing is selling them new in a shop. A lot of times that satin finish right out of the box has a little bit more resonance. So when you play them back to back, if you don't kind of give them that caveat that a few years later, this
Even
gloss finish.
I think even 6 months later, there's quite a bit of a difference in those. And like I said, for me, a little bit more focused, a little more detailed. So,
And then there's also the appearance and also care and maintenance. One of the hardest things, we haven't figured out a way to repair a satin finish. So you get a nick or a scratch or a chip in that, there's just really no good way. We even had a guy that had a pretty expensive, I believe it was a Taylor guitar that was a satin finish, and it got dropped by the airport, major crack in it. Our repairman was able to do a repair on the crack, but there's really nothing you can do to blend the finish. You can't do a touch-up, you can't do anything because it is a satin, you can't make it blend with other satin. Where a gloss finish like this, most cracks and repairs and things like that can be blended pretty well.
sure enough. So, I would agree with that. So, anyway,
So that was a lot of
I
talking about
derailed
finish
you right there.
But
so.
anyway, the 515 series, or 500 series in general, they have the A-style version of this as well, and an oval hole in both models. And we're going to talk about a little bit more of those in future videos. But I'm a big fan of these. It's like the best upgrade you can from their entry model, the 500 series. You're getting a lot of extra bang for the few extra dollars. So
I agree with
highly recommend these. Next step up from this, the 600 series has the pickup added in it, and after
guard
that,
now.
and pick guard. And then the 800 series, the biggest jump there is you're going to an Adirondack spruce top.
That's correct. So a quick rundown of features on this particular one. Sitka spruce top, maple back and sides, bound top, non-bound back, as well as peg head, upgraded tuners, the gloss finish, and did I miss
Hard shell
anything?
case.
Hard shell case, definitely worth it just for that. So there's your quick rundown of the MD515.
Hey, thanks for watching that video that we just did. I'm gonna make this universal so we can use it on all the videos.
Good
I hope
plan.
you enjoyed that thing that I said. And if you'd like to see more things like that, then subscribe down below where it says subscribe. You'll be notified anytime we do another video.
And while you're at it, make sure to check out our website, theacousticshop.com. We have free shipping on most products and one of the best return policies in the country.
We know what it's like to buy an instrument online. You never know what you're gonna get. When you get it, if you're not happy with it, send it back to us. We're not gonna be mad at you.
No.
We'll be a little disappointed in you, but no. We want you to find the right instrument, and there's no way to know until you try it. So we encourage you to try it out, play it, and then if it's not the right fit, we'll find the one that is.
There we go.
Also, be sure to comment down below. We love to interact with you guys. It's not a one-way street here.
No.
You get to say things, we get to say things back to you. If we say mean things, we're gonna say mean things back. So.
We may or may not do that. Anyway, we thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time.